Am I the asshole for telling my wife to stop being so jealous of my friend's fiance? My wife, 35 female, and I, 36 male, are good friends with another couple, my best friend Matt, 36 male, and his fiance Rachel, 24 female. Rachel models and is very attractive. My wife is less conventionally attractive, but I fell in love with her for her humor and good spirit, which I personally find more attractive than good looks. Recently, I've noticed my wife making a lot of comments about Rachel, calling her an airhead and just being kind of mean. When my wife makes these comments in private, I'm able to stand up for Rachel, but when they're made in public, I obviously don't want to embarrass my wife by calling her out. My wife and I went on a trip away with Matt and Rachel last week, which we had been planning for a while and really looking forward to. At dinner one night, my wife made a really mean comment after we started talking about the economy. She remarked, "Don't worry, Rachel, you can join in the conversation once the smart people are done." She was the only one who laughed. I was completely embarrassed, and once we were alone, I told my wife she had been really rude and I was ashamed of her. I told her she needs to stop making nasty comments, and she agreed. However, the next night, we all went out to a bar. Rachel was getting a lot of attention from guys who were sending over drinks. My wife was looking visibly annoyed that she wasn't receiving the same attention, so I tried to lift her spirits by paying for all of her drinks and making a fuss of her. One guy came over and said that Rachel looked just like the model Zendaya. My wife let out a massive laugh and said, "Did you mean to say Whoopi Goldberg?" I turned to my wife and straight up said, "You really are so jealous, aren't you?" She looked hurt but didn't have time to respond as Rachel had left the table in tears. I followed Matt and told Rachel directly that I was so sorry for my wife's words and that I was ashamed of her behavior. When I reunited with my wife, she told me I was horrible for calling her jealous in front of everyone and embarrassing her. I told her straight up that she was jealous of Rachel as Rachel is more attractive than her. I realize in hindsight that this was a very heavy thing to say, and I can see why she would be hurt by it. However, I stand by the fact that it was said in anger. Am I the asshole? I think that was obviously messed up to say that last part, but honestly, that was valid. Like she's being such an asshole. You can dish it but you can't take it. Like that's so messed up to be so rude to someone who is just simply existing and you're so pissed off that she's just like hot. Like what the hell? I don't even know what to say about that. Like that's just so mean. Why are you a mean girl? Why are you so rude? That's just like it's obviously a reflection of how she feels about herself, but like you don't need to bring someone else down so much because you're insecure and you're sad that you don't look like them. That's just messed up. So honestly, I can't say that she didn't deserve that because if you're going to be an asshole, then you should not be surprised when someone's an asshole back to you, even if it is your husband. Like someone had to stick up for her. And I would be pissed off too. Like I would probably be in a rage too if my partner was treating someone like trash, like gum on the bottom of your shoe. Some of the comments, not the asshole, aside from the way you handled it at the end, she's the asshole. Stop bringing her around when you hang out with Matt and Rachel. Don't lie to her though. Just don't bring her anywhere they're going to be. If she doesn't like it, then oh well. She doesn't get to bully people and get rewarded. And I also think that not only that needs to happen, but you also need to, I don't even know what, but like in some way, I feel like maybe take a little bit of space, be like, have a very long conversation with her about how messed up that is, that you can't treat people like that. Because seeing anyone treat someone like dog shit without like, obviously if they deserve it, okay, whatever, be my guest, but like unwarranted mean bully behavior is so crazy to me, and that's the most unattractive thing you could ever possibly do. So yeah, we'd be having a stern long talk, and I don't know, I probably would be taking a step back from my partner for a little bit, like being a little bit on edge and not really connecting with them that much because I would just feel like, you, what kind of person are you? Like, who are you to be so mean to someone and make someone cry for no reason other than your own insecurities? This person said, not the asshole, OP. The only person here who is not acting like a mature adult is your wife. You talked to her in private and she didn't listen. Unfortunately, sometimes people have to be called out in public in order for them to get the point. Okay, there's an edit. It says, I forgot to mention that since the trip, Matt has messaged me to let me know my wife is no longer welcome at their wedding and that as a couple himself and Rachel have decided they aren't interested in our friendship anymore if my wife is around. Rachel feels as if my wife has bullied her and has even suggested Some of the comments were racially motivated, and I'm so humiliated. Sorry, another edit. Just wanted to clarify my wife is stunning. I wouldn't have married her if I didn't think she was beautiful. She's just not as conventionally attractive. To me, she's the most beautiful woman on the planet, but objectively, Rachel is better looking. I'm very open to being the asshole in this situation, but I definitely wouldn't want people to think I'm not attracted to my wife. And I don't think that's wrong to like say. I mean, I don't think that you should say that to your wife. I don't think you should be like, you're not conventionally attractive and Rachel's more attractive. I get why you said it. Like at the end, I get it. Like, I don't think that it was right of him to say, obviously, but like, obviously that was all in anger and like a reaction to what she was doing. So I honestly can't blame him for spitting that out and just like wanting to, just being frustrated in that moment. There is an update though. The next day. Update, thanks for the feedback, guys. And just to add, although I didn't call out my wife in public, I regularly called her out in private after she would make comments. The reason we continue to hang out as a group is because my wife reassured me her and Rachel got on well, and the comments were in good spirit. Matt would also continue to invite us out, so I didn't think that it was too much of a problem. Also, in regards to the free drinks, Rachel accepted them for the table. We all shared the drinks and were joking around. The drinks were sent from the same two creepy guys, and it wasn't like the whole bar was buying Rachel drinks. Matt isn't insecure and would rather accept the free alcohol. Haha. Also, my wife earns more than me, so we split costs 50-50 most of the time. I paid for her drinks this time to make her feel better. Before I update, I also want to make it clear that I don't have feelings for Rachel. I think she is conventionally attractive, and she is a model. I'm not really even friends with Rachel, as some of you pointed out. She's younger, so we don't have much in common. I also want to make it clear that my wife is conventionally attractive, also, just less so than Rachel. Rachel is a model. My wife is not. This doesn't mean I don't think my wife is more attractive than Rachel to me. I just mean objectively, Rachel is better looking. I agree with the comments that both my wife and I were the assholes in this situation. My wife's behavior is unacceptable and mine was cruel and have probably done lasting damage to my wife's self-esteem. I don't think I'm the asshole for failing to call out my wife sooner. In my opinion, you should never publicly criticize your partner, so for me, telling her in private that the jokes were inappropriate is enough. I also want to point out my wife and I have already had couples counseling and my wife individual therapy. When I initially made the comment that Rachel is more attractive than her, my wife was furious, and rightly so. She said that it was a cruel thing to say and that she wasn't jealous of Rachel and insisted that the jokes were not offensive and everyone was just tiptoeing around the pretty girl. When we returned home from the trip and I received Matt's message, I let my wife know. At first, she was hurt, but she eventually came around and said that her behavior was inappropriate. She's admitted that she's jealous of Rachel due to her looks and was embarrassed by her behavior. I also asked her if she felt as if I found Rachel more attractive than her, but she said she didn't think that. It was just difficult seeing a younger, prettier girl get treated way better than her, and she just felt like second best. I think my wife noticed Rachel getting special treatment from other people and was jealous that she didn't receive the same. My wife has sent an apology to Rachel, but I don't think the friendship is salvageable. I will still attend the wedding, but my wife won't be coming along even if she is reinvited. I think it's worth my wife having some more therapy, and I'll have to rethink things. This had definitely made me see things in a different light, and I'm really disappointed. Thanks again, everyone, for the feedback. Yeah, that's just like shows who she is as a person, and that's very disappointing because I would be very upset if I realized that I married someone that can be so cruel to someone. And of course, like, yeah, what he said was cruel as well, but it's like you're being a little bit hypocritical by saying you're being cruel to me as you are literally making this girl cry for no reason, by the way, like completely unwarranted. It's like he was reacting, which again, I don't have to fucking keep saying this, but I obviously don't think is right. But you weren't reacting to anything that she was doing. She was simply just existing and you were being an asshole to her for no reason. Like, that's just so crazy to me. Oh my God. The way that I would literally flip out if my boyfriend did that. Like, and I would be like so shocked because I would be so confused. Who are you? I'd be so taken aback. Like, what do you mean? I didn't realize I got into a relationship with a asshole and simply wouldn't have gotten to a relationship with you if I knew that you had the ability to treat someone like this that literally is doing nothing to you. Okay. Someone said, yeah, you say something like that and you're metaphorically lighting your relationship with that person on fire. And they're responding to the fact that she remarked, don't worry, Rachel, you can join in the conversation once the smart people are done. That's so fucked up. Someone said that is such a stupid thing to say. I bet she was real smug about it too. Also, the husband tried talking to her in public, so she left him no choice. I would be beyond mortified if my significant other did something like this and would have shut that shit down the first time it happened. Why did they allow it to go on for so long? T, sissy. I don't think that he necessarily allowed it to go on for so long. Obviously, he had the conversations like in private, which I think is totally fine to give her like a little, you don't necessarily have to call someone out the first time something happens, especially if it's your partner. I do think that it's worth having a conversation in private. But the fact that she just never even like took what he said to heart at all, and she never did anything about it is just the cherry on top. Love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.